To start writing your HTML and CSS codes, you will need an environment that allows you to do so, and that environment will be a text editor. Now, there are a lot of different text editors you can choose from, but here are a few I've selected to help you get started. And the first text editor is Visual Studio Code. Visual Studio Code is a text editor with many rich features such as intelligent code completion, snippets, syntax highlighting, and code refactoring. And I like all the extra features that comes along with this particular text editor. It helps coding and development much more easier, coupled with the fact that it is lightweight and completely free. In this course, I'll be making use of Visual Studio Code, and if you would like to use this tool, fine and good. Just head over to code.visualstudio.com. But if you want to use a different text editor, that's totally okay. And another good and very lightweight text editor you can use is Sublime Text. I also have this text editor and I also use it frequently because of the general look and feel of it. Also, it is very flexible and popular among other programmers or developers. I normally do switch between Visual Studio Code and Sublime Text anytime. So go ahead if you choose this text editor and download it for free. Atom is another modern text editor that is completely free to use. It doesn't matter whether you're on a Mac or Windows or Linux operating system. It's totally fine. It's compatible with either of these operating systems. I've also used Atom, but I discovered that it's quite heavy and not as flexible as the first two. But that might be due to some factors or so many features. But it's a great text editor and you might want to try it out. So go ahead, click on the download button here to download Atom. One last one you can try if you want something much more simpler is Notepad++. This is a very simplistic text editor, and the Notepad++ is an extension of your normal Notepad that normally comes along with any computer system. And of course, it has many features that was not designed for the plain Notepad. Some of the features of Notepad++ is error clues. It gives you error clues. For instance, you're writing a code and you made a mistake. It gives you some error clue that makes you know you are making an error. And there is automatic numbering, as you can see by the left here, automatic numbering, and as well as some other little stuff, cool and very simple. So this is another text editor you can try. It's very simple and basic. Now, why I talked about Notepad++ last is because it's not as modern as the first three, and our project will be designed based on modern features. But using Notepad++ or any other text editor of your choice will not in any way affect your project as long as this course is concerned. So feel free to make your choice and explore these different text editors. Meanwhile, I'll be leaving the links to the different text editors below this video, so you can look at the link below and download the text editor of your choice. Heading back to Visual Studio Code, which I'll be using for this course, and if you want to follow me step by step and do everything just exactly the way I do it, see the same thing I see, stuffs like that, you can as well get Visual Studio Code. And once you've downloaded Visual Studio Code on your computer, it should look something like this. So this is the interface of Visual Studio Code. You have the code window by your right, and by the left will be the panel that holds your folders and files. So the first thing you want to do when you open Visual Studio Code is click on the Open Folder button. Here I've already created an empty folder called Website Design HTML CSS, and I'm going to select this folder to open it on VS Code. So in this course, I might be switching between VS Code, Visual Studio Code, so whichever I use is still the same. I might call it Visual Studio Code, I might call it VS Code. So that is that. I've successfully opened the web design folder on VS Code. On this welcome screen, you can just close this to have a blank and a neat window. Okay, for you, this folder, you might not have created it before now. So what you could do is head over to your desktop and right click on your desktop, go to New Folder and name your folder Website Design or Website Design Class. So once you've named this folder, you come over to Visual Code, File, Open Folder, and locate this folder from where it was created on your desktop. in this case this empty folder, and you select. So as you can see, this is your folder. So let's close this and go back to our former window. So once you've successfully created your website design folder and you have opened it on Visual Studio Code, the next thing you want to do is click on this first icon which says New File. So when you click on that icon, we are going to be creating two files within the website design folder, which is the project folder. So the first file we'll be creating will be called index.html. You hit the enter button, and the second file we'll be creating will be called CSS. So we'll have our two files created in our folder inside the website design class folder. Now take note, this can be called anything. You can call it test.html, you can call it my site.html, it can just be anything, but it's advisable to call it index.html because this is the very first page anybody sees when they come to your website. For instance, if you have a website like mywebsite.com and someone visits that website, the first page they are seeing is the home page, and that is the index page. So when they type your website, the name of your website on the web browser, it searches for a name called index, which is like the roots of your website. Okay, now that you know what HTML and CSS is, and you've successfully set up your local environment, it's now time to start getting acquainted with HTML tags and elements.